looking for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear, punch it. Great job, you did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello and welcome back once again. Sunday morning US Indy Car League action presented to you by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. As always, I am your host, David Worrell, up here bringing you all the great calls from the booth up here with the rest of the guys behind the scenes at Turn 3 Racing Network. Coming into today's this morning's, but we are racing at nighttime here at Autoclub Speedway, 2-mile D-shaped oval track here in California, and this is a very aero dependent race. Got to be very careful of the aero push coming out of the exits, and you got to watch being in that dirty air on the entry to especially turn number 1 here. It's a little bit different entry than most other corners that we have been to so far for the King of the Speedway series this season for the US Indy Car League. And that's right, tonight is a Triple Crown race. However, the only driver available to snatch them Triple Crown points, them extra 20 points for winning all 3 Triple Crown races, A.J. Burton, is not here today. So unfortunately, nobody going to be able to grab those 20 extra coveted points. And it could have done AJ a little bit of some good. We'll take a look at our point standings coming into tonight's race. Just one more race left here in the King of the Speedway series for the US Indy Car League presented by StickQuik. Your points look like this. Graham Bunyan just barely ahead of Ryan Bowles by 5 points. Robert Mitchell right there still in the hunt. Mike West on the outside looking in But with next week's double points race at Atlanta, things could get pretty shaken up. And there you see AJ Burton, as I was alluding to. If he had those extra 20 points, he would get the 20 points, race win points, and then possibly with a win at next week's double points race, he had an outside chance. Depending on where a few other drivers finished, he may have been able to jump all the way from just inside of the top 10 up inside of the top 3. But unfortunately, as of right now, Burton's crew has not pulled into the infield garage just yet. So we won't have a chance to see if we have a Triple Crown winner for the King of the Speedway Series this season. But we're still going to have one heck of a race. I can assure you that timing and scoring looks like everybody's pretty grouped up with each other. Only a few hundredths through the top. It looks like the top 7 are all within about a tenth of each other. So, I mean, that is absolutely flying out there for today's race. There you see race number 11 here at Auto Club. A lot of laps out there tonight for these drivers. Gonna have some new interesting little things to deal with. New aero screens on these cars. So we will take a look down there with a few of the drivers that are on track. Looks like Howard Livingston and his 13 machine is out there on track. So we'll jump down there, take a look. There you see that aero screen as Howard is making his way back down onto pit road. You can see that new aero screen down there. And I, for one, I am not a very big fan of this aero screen. But that's just me, in my opinion. Does not really matter. So we'll jump out here with a few drivers grouped up with each other. Taking a look right now at the 19 of Chad Pierce. He's got a few drivers right there with him. I believe that is Danny J just behind him. No, that is not. Sorry, that is Graham Bunyan in the 101 with his Rolling Stones machine, trying to get a little bit of a draft. Trying to see what the aero is like as we get closer and closer to switching over to qualifying. Only about 15 seconds left here before we get headed down trackside for qualifying. So we're going to get ready to do that. Driver's going to get ready to head down to the pits, and we will get this thing ready to go and fired off. And Bunyan into the wall just before qualifying. That's going to hurt his crew. Going to put him behind the 8 ball a little bit. They're going to have to scramble around to get the car ready to go back out for qualifying as the yellow flag has waved. Excuse me, yellow flag has waved on happy hour. Qualifying is underway. There you see the green flag flying. Jason Lowe, first driver out on track. So we will jump out with Jason as he makes his way around the track. There you see him coming off of pit road. Very long first laps here to get the car up to speed and going the way that you want it to go. Very big track, 2 miles. I mean, you can get a lot of speed built up, and these drivers are going to be pushing the limits. That is for sure. One thing with US Indy Car League qualifying, you are allowed to utilize that apron. You are allowed to go underneath that white line should you choose. Not something you have to do, something a few of the drivers like to do just to cut the track a little bit more, get a little time off of the ticker. As you see Jason Lowe crossing the line right there. There you see him, 230 miles an hour entering turn number 1. Absolutely flying out there. Jason will slot in on the top of the speed charts as we go to one of our on-board overhead cameras right here, being brought to you by Track Cams by Grommet. If you haven't already, go ahead and check the description out. Link is down below. Great camera work. big shout out to those guys working with us here at Turn 3 Racing Network. So thank you very much. All of the cameras, exquisite. Absolutely amazing. Jason Lowe gonna cross the line. Looks like a bunch of other drivers have already turned in their times. We'll run through some of your qualifying. Go ahead and give you the drop down as we watch Dan Kendall make his way around the track. Jason Lowe sitting on top of the provisional pole, now being bumped off by Ryan Bowles. The 25 goes to the top of the speed charts. The 004 sitting in second. Third is the 131 of Craig Forsyth. Fourth, Howard Livingston, your fifth place runner. The 6 of Jeff Murray. With just about 2.5 minutes left in qualifying, we are halfway through, and this has been a frantic speed here in qualifying. These drivers, oh my goodness, and forced Dan Kendall gonna cut through the track. Ben Wallace, let's jump out there with the 99 now of Ben Wallace as he makes his attempt at taking away the Super Pole here for the US Indy Car League presented by StickQuik. Ben Wallace out on track, getting his car up to speed. A lot of drivers already put their times in. Just a few left to put in their times. The 101 of Graham Bunyan, Danny J, Ben Wallace, the man on screen, and Robert Mitchell turning his first time lap that time by. Ben Wallace going to put in a time this time by. Mitchell only good enough for 14th with his first time lap. Graham Bunyan up to 13th with his first time lap. With just a minute and a half remaining here in qualifying, things are getting down to the nitty gritty. Does Ben Wallace, Danny J, or Graham Bunyan have anything for that 25 of Ryan Bowles? Can they dethrone him from the top of the speed charts? Wallace around the track for the first time. Where will he slot in? Robert Mitchell to the top of the board. Ben Wallace up to 15th. Graham Bunyan only good enough for second. So does Ben Wallace have what it takes to snatch the pole away here in the last minute of qualifying? Robert Mitchell putting his StickQuik machine on top of the speed charts. Wallace down there hugging the white line. Will he have enough coming off of turn 4? Through the front stretch, the tri-oval into the line. Let's see, does he have it? No, not good enough for Wallace. My, that was very, very close. And well, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, looks like qualifying is pretty much in the bag. We're going to head down track side for our national anthem. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with your starting grid here for the Triple Crown race number 3 from Autoclub Speedway, live here on Turn 3 Racing Network.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
And just like that, welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, drivers hitting the starting grid. So we will bring you your starting lineup for today's Triple Crown race number 3 here at Autoclub Speedway for US Indy Car, presented by StickQuik. Field beginning to roll off pit road. Starting row number 1 with the pole here today with a 32.363, the 31 of Robert Mitchell. Followed just to his outside by the 101 of Graham Bunyan. Row number 2, the 25 of Ryan Bowles. And the 99 of Ben Wallace. Row number 3 here today, the 004 of Jason Lowe and the 131 of Craig Forsyth. Row number 4, the 64 of Rick Lovison, followed by the 13 of Howard Livingston. Row number 5, the 07 of David Zaleski and the 6 of Jeff Murray. Row number 6, the 306 of Will Stearns, followed by the 53 of Dan Kendall. Row number 7, the 10 of Mike West, followed by the 19 of Chad Pierce. Row number 8 here today at Auto Club, the 24 of Richard Kelball, followed by the 5 of Joe Pascal. Starting row number 9, shotgun on the field, is the 15 of Danny J. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your starting lineup. So we will get set to go green flag racing. Base car is off. Green is in the air, and we are racing here at Auto Club Speedway. And oh my goodness, I think I may have forgot to turn some audio off somewhere, as I have a spotter just in my ear. That may be a little bit interesting here as these laps begin to unfold. At the beginning of the race, Robert Mitchell gets well and away, but Ryan Bowles right there. Graham Bunyan not going anywhere just yet. Bowles with a big move outside in front of Bunyan, just in front of Wallace. Down into turn 3, side by side for the race lead on lap number 1. Graham Bunyan sitting right there in third, ready to pounce, but Robert Mitchell gonna lead the field back to the line to lead lap number 1, and things are all over the place already. Your top 5 all over each other. Craig Forsyth and his 131 right there lurking in the background just behind Ben Wallace, running in the 5th position. There you see cars fanning out down the back stretch. Rest of the field still in tow. Your entire field still within 2 seconds of each other. So a lot of drivers still right there on top of each other. Jason Lowe unfortunately missed the start. He's a little bit behind the 8 ball right now. He's about a half a lap behind. He's going to need a yellow in order to catch up. But, almost up into that outside wall was Robert Mitchell. That's going to let Ryan Bowles lead the field for the first time here tonight. Now Graham Bunyan looking to the inside of Mitchell. That pass is going to happen. And Wallace now looking to... Wow, big move up there right in front of Mitchell. Mitchell having a little bit of a issue there. Maybe got a little tight up there next to that outside wall. Gonna be flirting with disaster. Don't want to get too close there. Craig Forsyth still battling now with Rick Lovison and Robert Mitchell. That is for 4th, 5th, and 6th position. We are still watching the battle up at the front. Graham Bunyan losing a little bit of ground right now to Bowles, but he does have Ben Wallace towing off of his slipstream, so that's going to slow those drivers down just a little bit as they enter turn number 1 and 2. Once again, lap number 5 now to the back stretch. 3/10 for your race leader, Ryan Bowles over Graham Bunyan. Pass in the back, Howard Livingston has David Zaleski just behind him. Rick Lovison right there to his inside. Pole sitter Robert Mitchell falling through the field just a little bit now, back to the 5th position, and he's going to have to deal with Livingston and Zaleski here in the next coming laps, as we stay under green flag conditions, working lap number 6 out of 100 here for today's scheduled race distance in Triple Crown race number 3 here at Auto Club Speedway. Livingston making the pass through 3 and 4, put him up into 5th as Robert Mitchell, your pole sitter, beginning to fall even further through the field, now from 1st all the way back to 6th. Onboard camera now looking at and over that halo. There you've seen it. That's a little bit something different that these drivers haven't had to deal with so far this season. The new halo coming out for these Dallara IR18s. So now these drivers have to deal with a little bit of that windscreen possibly being in the way from time to time. But you know, it is what it is. Those cars still look absolutely amazing down there on track. Looks like your race leader Ryan Bowles out to a 7/10 second lead. Same gap back from Graham Bunyan to Ben Wallace, but there is a battle for 3rd now brewing as Craig Forsyth takes his machine to the bottom, slides up the track out of 4th, back through the front stretch to the line. He's going to have the spot at the line, but will Ben Wallace have anything to come back and try to retake the position as they work their way through 1 and 2 and back to the backstretch? Not quite able to get there is the 99 of Ben Wallace, so put the 131 of Craig Forsyth comfortably in the 3rd position. Your top 2 have stepped away from the field. Gaps slowly beginning to develop through the rest of the field. We'll jump back with our closest battle on track. That is for 10th, 11th, and 12th. There you see the gaggle of cars. Will Stearns, Dan Kendall, Mike West, all right there with each other, all battling pretty hard here. About 6 seconds back from your race leader, so these drivers still battling no matter where they are on track. And there you see the 24 of Brett Cub all just in the background. The 5 of Joe Pascal also back there just kind of lurking. Very big close moment there as Pascal closed in right on the rear bumper. Well, there is no rear bumper, right on the gearbox there of that 53 of Dan Kendall. That could have been very, very close. Now we've got another pass. Jeff Murray now going by David Zaleski. That is for the 6th and 7th position. Zaleski had 6, now gave it up as Murray tries to make his way up through the field, riding that high line. Now up there, falling even further through the field, Robert Mitchell. What has happened with Mitchell? My goodness. From pole position, from leading lap number 1, he has fell all the way back to now the 9th spot. And quite possibly further through the field. Is he saving gas? That could be a possibility. That is... time being given up. A lot of time. I'm not quite sure about the fuel strategies just yet, so we'll continue to speculate up here in the booth about that, but I think these drivers are going to have to pit at least twice. Maybe Mitchell trying to stretch this to a one-stopper. Not quite sure that's going to be able to be accomplished. Looks like the 19 of Chad Pierce has found some issues. He is on pit road fixing on his machine. Jason Lowe started from pit road, now 15 seconds behind your race leader in the 15th position, still on the lead lap, but well behind the field at this point. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Ryan Bowles, there you see him, your race leader, still out in front of Graham Bunyan. Graham still trying to close in, has been able to do so over the past few laps, but is that Ryan Bowles saving gas, saving some tires right now, allowing Mitchell to come, allowing Bunyan to close the gap, to maybe get up there right behind him, possibly burn up some of those tires in the dirty air. That is a very smart defensive strategy and I wouldn't blame him if that's what he was doing. These top two drivers have stepped away from Craig Forsyth, running in third position. There you see Craig just in the back, around 1.5 seconds behind Graham Bunyan. And if these two drivers get to mixing it up and fighting too much up here at the front when Bunyan gets to his gearbox, that could allow that 131 to close some distance rather quickly. We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds under the next few laps. But I tell you what, we're going to go back a little further in the field here and keep our eye on the timing and scoring to see if this gap closes up any further. We've got a 3-4 car battle right here with the 5 of Joe Pascal, the 306 of Will Stearns, Dan Kendall, and his 53 just behind these drivers. Will Stearns, Rick Kaleball right there as well. So far, so good. Clean race for a lot of the drivers out there on track. Joe Pascal in his camouflage machine. That's pretty sweet. I kind of like that. Nothing else out there on track looking quite like that. So that is a nice little Army camouflage Dallara 8 IR18 being driven by the 5 of Joe Pascal. Lap 19 in the books here from Autoclub Speedway for the US Indy Car League, presented by StickQuik. It's race number 11, Triple Crown race number 3. And we are off to a very fast and frantic pace, all 19 laps under green flag conditions so far. Graham Bunyan now closing in on the gearbox of Ryan Bowles up at the front. The gap is now only 2/10. That should be enough to allow Bunyan to grab a hold of a little bit of a slipstream going down the back stretch, staying right there tucked in, just getting a little bit of air on the left front of that front wing. Not able to utilize the draft just yet is Bunyan, but he is stalking that 25 of Ryan Bowles. This is like watching a championship fight, because, well, that's absolutely what it is at this point in time. These two drivers are the two drivers at the top of your point standings. They are at the top of the running order right now, running first and second respectively. And this is a battle that we should expect to see throughout the rest of this morning's race here on Turn 3 Racing Network. My goodness. What more could you ask for? The top two in the points battling it out for the top 2 positions on track with only 2 races left to go. Next week when we head off into Atlanta, that is a double points race. So these next 2 races, this race and the final race next week, is, well, it's coming down to be some of the most important races of, and very tight was Ryan Bowles. He's going to lose a ton of ground having to get out of the gas. That's going to put Graham Bunyan well and away of the field. And Bowles way up the track again in 3 and 4. Everything looks to be okay on the right side of the car. No contact with the wall, but he has given up a ton of time. Now all the way back to the 3rd position, 2.7 seconds behind your new race leader, that 101 of Graham Bunyan. Gonna stay around the 9th, 10th spot. There you see him back through the field. Robert Mitchell now battling with that 5 of Joe Pascal. Pascal making the pass down the back stretch to put himself into the 8th position. And Mitchell, your pole sitter, falling further and further through the field as we begin to work lap number 25 out of 100 here today at Autoclub, a quarter of the way through the race. And we are still under green flag conditions, no drivers hitting pit road just yet, so gonna do a little bit of house cleaning while we've got a brief moment. 17 drivers took to the starting grid. We have still got 15 cars out there running. Danny J, unfortunately, not able to turn any laps out there. He is scored in the 17th and final position. Ben Wallace in his 99 issues into the wall and down pit road. That machine is behind the wall. His day is done, so Wallace gonna walk away. Looks like possibly with 16th, maybe 15th, unless Chad Pierce gets his machine that has been damaged back out on track. We've still got 14 cars running on track, all 14 on the lead lap as Graham Bunyan continues to stretch his lead over second place Forsyth. About 2 seconds separate those two drivers. Another 3.3 seconds back to your third place runner Howard Livingston, just in front of the battle for the 4th and 5th position between Jeff Murray and David Zaleski. A few of these drivers beginning to make their moves and emerge at the front of this race. Later on in the run, we're about halfway through a fuel run here, and it looks like Jeff Murray and David Zaleski's cars are starting to come into themselves running. Lap times comparative with the race leader Bunyan that last lap of 33.331, Murray with a 33.354. We have small battles all throughout the track. Ryan Bowles now losing the position back in 6th and 7th to Rick Levison. So Ryan Bowles falling through the field as well after being right there at the front, getting very tight, a lot of understeer in the car, and his day was almost over after leading 21 laps. He now finds himself back in the middle of the pack, 7th position. And is this a fuel strategy just like the 31 of Robert Mitchell, just a few cars behind him, who started from the pole position but now finds himself running in the 9th spot? Are those two drivers, after some small race issues, are they deciding to go the long run and switch strategy? We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Your race leader, Graham Bunyan, no problems, no issues at hand for him, but he will be running into lap traffic, I would probably say, in another 5 to 6 laps, as Mike West is 24 seconds behind your race leader, Graham Bunyan. So that's about a 10-second difference from being a lap down, and Bunyan shows no signs of slowing up. Actually improved his lap time by a 10th that last time by, so Bunyan on the loud pedal and not letting up. Meanwhile, back up near the front of the field, 3rd and 4th position, Howard Livingston and Jeff Murray. That's going to be a battle here very shortly. David Zaleski right there running in 5th. He's got his sights set on trying to make his way into one of the final podium positions. Oh, and it looks like Zaleski's going to hit pit road. Zaleski's going to head down pit road for his first stop of the day. And it looks like Mike West also with some issues. He finds himself on pit road, beating and banging away on his 10 machine. Tough break for Mike to have to already be on and off pit road. This battle for third place not going away just yet. Jeff Murray digging on the bottom, trying to make his way by Howard Livingston on the outside, utilizing as much of the track as he can, trying to keep that machine wound up. Not able to do it. Jeff Murray gonna slot himself into third, and Jeff with an incredible run so far. There you see his in-race stats, started all the way back in the 10th position and has driven his way up to third here during this first green flag stint. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle there, almost into that outside wall goes Murray. Gotta be careful. These cars are very, very finicky when it comes to making quick moves right on the exits of the turn. So very close moment. I'll just leave it at that. It looks like Jeff Murray's gonna come down pit road this time by slowing his machine up. Gonna be on the pit road limiter here just briefly. And there you hear it on that limiter. Great entry to pit road there for Murray. Craig Forsyth on pit road. Howard Livingston on pit road. Looks like David Zaleski on and off of pit road. Rick Lovison on and off pit road. Ryan Bowles has hit pit road. Dan Kendall, he is on pit road. A lot of drivers pit road. Very, very busy as Graham Bunyan, your race leader, coming on pit road now. A lot of drivers barely going to be staying on the lead lap, as it looks like Joe Pascal is going to come around and lead a lap here at Autoclub for the first time here in the US Indy Car League, presented by StickQuik. Pascal staying out 37 laps into his green flag run, putting a handful of drivers a lap down. But Pascal is going to be hitting pit road. Can he put Murray a lap down? Before he does so, I'm not sure he's going to push the issue or try too hard. Looks and sounds like he's going to be hitting pit road this time by. There he is, ducking down to the apron. So indeed, he will be coming for service this time by. That's going to put the race lead, I believe, back in the hands of this man right here, Graham Bunyan, down and away from pit road. 38.3 seconds on and off pit road for Graham Bunyan. A few drivers with a little faster times, not very much faster. Fastest time on and off pit road was a 38 flat, being turned in by that 07 of David Zaleski and his crew. Only an 8.0 stop. That was one of your fastest stops as well. So Zaleski's crew getting the job done. Speaking of getting the job done, man, on the screen, the 101 of Graham Bunyan came in with a 3-second lead, came out with almost a 5-second lead. So Bunyan doing exactly what he needs to do to repeat as your season champion here in the US Indy Car League, presented by StickQuik. Graham trying to capture the first ever King of the Speedways championship here in the US IndyCar League on iRacing.com. If you haven't already jumped on iRacing, you have no idea what you are missing. You can see it all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. Esports blowing up right now. And well, if the big boys in NASCAR, IndyCar all come over here to iRacing to play, to get in their seat time, to lay down some laps with the fastest aliens in the world, well, iRacing is where they do it at, because it is the world's #1 racing simulator. So if you want to race it or wreck it, iRacing has got it. Every car and track scanned for laser precision. Physics, aerodynamics are off the charts, my man. Craziness. The only thing realer is spending a couple $1 million and buying yourself a real one. Just saying. And, well, I ain't got that kind of money. But if you want to help a brother out, I ain't gonna turn you down. Just saying. As we continue to log some laps here at Autoclub, beginning lap 42 out of 100 here today. Graham Bunyan off to a 6-point-second lead over the rest of the field. So my goodness, Graham Bunyan putting on one heck of a show. Looks like the field has kind of gapped themselves up just a little bit, so we'll jump back with one of our closest battles on track right now. The 31 of Robert Mitchell, your pole sitter, fell all the way back to the 9th spot since, has driven back up into the 6th spot, but he does have Jason Lowe just behind him. Lowe looking to the inside. He's going to make the pass easily there. Well and clear of Mitchell, working out of turn number 4 back across the stripe. My goodness. Now we go to an on-board shot here for just a brief moment on board with the 31 of Robert Mitchell. And there you can see that halo that is now on these Indy cars. There you see you actually lose sight of the car in front of you just briefly with that divider bar in the middle. And it's a little annoying for me, but I don't drive the Laras very much, so just one of them things these drivers are going to have to adapt and get used to, just like the drivers in real life. They're going to have to adapt and get used to the way the things look, looking through those halos. Battle for the 2nd spot now. Jeff Murray looking for second. Back to 3rd goes Zaleski, and Howard Livingston, he's going to be closing in very soon as well. I believe, trying to see who that is right there, and I believe that may be the 131 of Craig Forsyth, just behind Zaleski, as Howard Livingston is about 3 seconds back for position. So the driver of that Oreos machine doesn't have to be too concerned or worried about the driver behind him, but also don't want to get caught up racing him and ruin the tires, or possibly make a big mistake, find yourself in the wall with some parts and pieces scattered across the track. Oh, Murray into the wall there. Just a little bit of contact for Murray. Ooh. Looking at the right side of the car, everything looks okay with the tires for Murray, but that was a big time moment as 2 cars are now going to pass him. Murray is going to go back to the 3rd spot. Zaleski passing for position, and Forsyth just trying to work his way around some of these front runners and get himself back onto the lead lap. Big time moment there for Jeff Murray. He had been on an absolute tear through the field. Contact with the outside wall, just slight contact, but that's all it takes sometimes to ruin these million-dollar machines. We'll have to see how bad that affects him, and it looks like it's going to affect him pretty well, as Howard Livingston has been able to come up, pass, and now walk away from Jeff Murray by 1.2 seconds. So Murray falling through the field now after a little mistake, and that is all it takes. Just one little split second of misjudgment, split second of distraction, lack of focus. You can find yourself kissing the wall and kissing your race goodbye. Closest battle for... Oh, and a car going around. Ryan Bowles around. Everything looks to be okay. We'll take a look back with our turn 3 replay here. See what happened to Bowles. not seeing, just pulling off. Not sure what was going on there with Bowles, as he has found some issues late in the race on pit road, fixing his machine. Gonna be scored now 4 laps down. Tough break for the 25 after leading a handful of laps early in the race. 21 laps being led by Ryan Bowles, and he finds himself in some trouble, especially when it comes to the point standings. Ryan being scored in the 14th position. His closest competitors in the point standings: Graham Bunyan leading the race, Robert Mitchell sitting in 7th. So Robert not having as great of a day as he would like to have, but nonetheless, he is trying to get up there and snatch a few more points, fight and claw his way into this championship battle. We're now going to jump up with the battle for 5th and 6th. That is between Jason Lowe and Jeff Murray. Jeff falling through the field rapidly now, giving up a ton of time to Jason Lowe. Murray fighting for the 2nd position, got in the wall a little bit, and now he finds himself falling through the field. Just past the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen, and your race leader, Graham Bunyan, stepping away from the field, putting multiple cars laps down. So far, we have got 9 cars left on the lead lap. Craig Forsyth in his 131 being scored the first car 1 lap down. Will Stearns, first car 2 laps down. Mike West joins him 2 laps down, as well as Dan Kendall. Ryan Bowles and his crew pushing the car back behind the wall. His day is done. His day is over, and that's going to put a big weight on his shoulders to go out and produce next week when we get to Atlanta to try to fight for the championship. Graham Bunyan sitting pretty as of right now, leading the championship by 5 points coming into tonight's race. Well, he could be leaving not out of reach of anybody else being able to come up and challenge for the championship. As I said, with it being a double points race next week, anything could happen. And Jeff Murray, look at that, ladies and gentlemen, from 2nd position all the way back now to the 9th spot, 1 lap down. That's all it takes, just a little bit of contact, a little bit of rub, and your day can go from great to disastrous. Gonna go down with one of our turn 3 on-board cameras. Man, that is a beautiful shot over the halo of your race leader, Graham Bunyan, as he continues to click off the laps. We are about anywhere from 20 to 24 laps into this green flag stint. Our 2nd green flag run. All these drivers absolutely going to have to come back down pit road. Nobody's going to be able to stretch it to the end of this thing. And that is just, that's just facts. You can hear that machine just wound out almost the entire way around the track. My goodness, Graham Bunyan on that gas pedal and not letting up, not giving his competitors a moment to breathe. 10 seconds now, the gap between your race leader, Graham Bunyan, back to his closest competition for position. The 07 of David Zaleski running in 2nd. 3rd place is Howard Livingston. 4th place will go to Rick Lovison, and running in 5th, the 004 of Jason Lowe. After starting on pit road, that is one heck of a drive by that Naked Clown crew. Jason Lowe getting the job done. Hats off to you, my friend. There is lot of cars right here in front of your race leader, Graham Bunyan. That is Joe Pascal, Robert Mitchell, Richard Kelball, all right there battling for 6th, 7th, and 8th spot right in front of your race leader. Robert Mitchell, your pole sitter for today's race, in danger of going one lap down here. Ooh, that is a tough position to be put in right now if you are any of those three drivers. I mean, you're battling for 6th position, but you're getting ready to get put a lap down. That has got to be a terrifying thought. Anywhere else you would imagine running in the 6th position that you're going to be in a pretty good spot. Robert Mitchell way up the track, right near that outside wall. As Pascal has been able to clear Kell, Ball, and Mitchell.
Talk to you about your car.
Oh no, caution is out. Wow, my goodness, Pascal goes flipping and flying. We'll take a look back with our turn 3 replay. Everything seems to be okay at this point in time. For Pascal, looks like he's getting through the corner pretty well. And down on the apron and into that inside. Oh my goodness! Flipping down the track. Wow, let's take one more look at that. My goodness, what a ride. There, oh my. Flipping down the track. Wow, that was absolutely crazy. As we're going to rejoin your race leader. Graham Bunyan Field begins to catch up just behind him, and that may be what a lot of these drivers needed, as we have 38 laps to go. Caution number 1 here today for the US Indy Car League, presented by StickQuik. I do believe most of the field will hit pit road. Not sure if they're going to have enough to make it to the end. So while things get settled down there on track, we're going to step away for just a quick, brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with all the action here on Turn 3 Racing Network.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. And just like that, we are back. Thanks for joining me
here today on Turn 3 Racing Network for the US Indy Car League presented by StickQuik. Race number 11 here from Autoclub Speedway, Triple Crown race number 3. Unfortunately, A.J. Burton, the only man with a shot at that Triple Crown, was not able to make the race today, so he will not capture that Triple Crown. Man, I was really looking forward to seeing if he could get that job done. Very, very close for him. 1-2 out of the 3. So, great job. Hats off to A.J. Burton. Want to thank each and every one of you out there for joining, watching, liking, subscribing to Turn 3 Racing Network. Joining us each and every Sunday morning for some great IndyCar action. And man, if you haven't already, I know it makes these drivers feel a little bit more appreciated that you enjoy what it is they're doing out there on the track. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right hand side. Get notified anytime we go live on Turn 3 Racing Network. Big shout out to StickQuik organizers and fasteners. If you haven't yet, head on over to StickQuik.com for all your organizing and fastening needs. A lot of great, very cool products out there. Magnetic things to help in the shop, the kitchen, wherever you need organization. StickQuik has got a fix for you. Head on over to StickQuik.com. As the field begins to gather themselves up single file behind the pace car, working their way through 1 and 2. Want to give another big shout out there to Torqued Graphics. Wow. That's all I can say at this point in time. Not going to get too far into it just yet. Got some things in the making. Torqued Graphics. Head on over to torquedgraphics.com. Check them out on Facebook. Yeah. Nothing else needs to be said. Pace car lights are off, ready to get out the way, and we will get this thing fired back off. Green flag racing, ready to resume here any moment. Flag man has the flag in hand. Pace car ducking off, and we will be back. Green flag racing here at Autoclub Speedway. Graham Bunyan gets away from the field very, very well. Field beginning to fan out behind him for positions. We still have 8 cars left on the lead lap, and we are off and running once again. And, well, we haven't had a chance to do it yet, and caution comes back out very quickly here at Auto Club. Looks like Craig Forsyth involved. We'll have to take a look, see what happened with our Turn 3 replay. Oh, and up and over the tire of Robert Mitchell. Oh my goodness. We'll take a look one more time at that from the blimp cam. Oh. Oh. Ooh. And a checkup by Mitchell. Forsyth not able to check up in time, and around he goes for a crazy ride. One more look at it here. Up over that rear tire, into the wall, flipping, twisting, turning. Oh my goodness. His car comes to a stop, so we will rejoin the race leader, Graham Bunyan, up at the front of the field. And my goodness. Well, they say cautions breed cautions, and that was just a product of that. A little bit of checkup out of Robert Mitchell and Craig Forsyth, up and over the right rear tire and into the fence. My goodness, tough break for Forsyth. while we find ourselves under the second caution for today's race, want to give a special shout out to Track Cams for Grommets for providing us with all of the great camera shots out here today at Autoclub Speedway. Go check them out. If you haven't checked it out already, down in the description you can find some links to them on Facebook as well as their website. You can go to www.trackcams22.com for all your racing camera needs. And I tell you what, if you go ahead and click the link down in the description, you'll get a little bit of a discount. We'll get a discount too. So, hey, why not help your fellow man out? Go check out trackcams22.com. Field working their way back to the line. Lights on the pace car stay on, so we will have at least 2 more laps around this track. So we're going to take a brief moment, utilize this opportunity to get something to drink. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back with all your green flag racing action here live on Turn 3 Racing Network. And pace car down and away. We're set to go back. Green flag racing, flag is in the air. We're back racing at Autoclub Speedway for the third and final Triple Crown race. Field well and away from each other this time by much smoother start for a lot of the drivers out there. Top three getting away from the field. This time we'll see if we can go ahead and throw it down there to our Turn It Up. absolutely love it when we get to throw it down trackside for our Turn It Up cameras here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Your race leader, Graham Bunyan, well and away from the field, almost by 1 second. Howard Livingston in his 13 machine running strong right now. In that second position does have David Zaleski in his 07 just behind him, battling for that second and third position. We are watching Jason Lowe try to hold off that 64 of Rick Lovison. Rick Kelball right there in 6th, Robert Mitchell in 7th, the last car being scored on the lead lap. As we begin to work lap 77 out of 100 for today's scheduled race distance, 24 laps left to go. And does Graham Bunyan have what it takes to extend his points lead after today's race came into tonight's race here at Autoclub, 5 points in front of the 25 of Ryan Bowles, who has found some trouble here tonight. Gonna finish in the 14th spot, and that is going to put a damper on his championship run. He's going to have an outstanding run next week at Atlanta when we head out there for our final race of the season, a double points race. So you're not out of it just yet. And I would expect to see Ryan Bowles try to go out there and dominate next week at Atlanta. However, up at the front, battle still brewing on. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all right there running with each other, all within about 1 second of each other. So those 4 drivers, while they battle it out, they're seeing something they do not really particularly like to see, and that's that 101 of Graham Bunyan now step away to almost a 2-second lead over the rest of the field. 22 laps to go, 21 when we cross the line this time by. My goodness, time is a-ticking. That sand falling through the hourglass, getting closer and closer to running out. Graham Bunyan now well in hand of leading the most laps here today in Triple Crown race number 3 for the US Indy Car League, presented by StickQuik. Bunyan leading a total of 56 laps so far. Nobody going to be able to touch that, even if they by some chance lead the last 20 laps here. Closest man to him with laps is off the track right now. The 25 of Ryan Bowles led 21 laps out there today. We've only had 2 other race leaders. Robert Mitchell leading the first lap of the race since having some troubles has dropped through the field, now running in the 7th position. Also leading a lap out there today, newcomer, the 5 of Joe Pascal. He stayed out a lap on green flag pit cycles to steal a lap led. He has found some trouble as well and gonna slide home in the 13th position for today's race. Howard Livingston doing an excellent job keeping Zaleski behind him. Jason Lowe as well right behind him. Rick Lovison has fell off the pace just a little bit in the 5th position as Lowe has built up about a second gap back to Lovison. So Jason Lowe liking what he's seeing out of the front arrow screen there, closing the distance on Zaleski and leaving the 64 of Lovison behind. Going to continue to watch these cars battle for position as your race leader has now stepped out to a 2.6 second lead over the rest of the field. So barring a late race incident, which looking through the race trends here for US Indy Car League, we have not had a caution come out in the last 20 laps. in the last 4 races. Oh, big time moment there for Jason Lowe, way up the track near the wall. We have not had a late race caution in quite some time here in the US Indy Car League presented by StickQuik, so not sure we're going to see that here today either. As the majority of the field has a little bit of gaps between them, we're still battling right here for second, third, and fourth. Livingston, Zaleski, and Lowe. These final positions have not been decided just yet. Graham Bunyan, your race leader, 3-second lead over these 3 drivers battling for second, third, and fourth. Rick Lovison has fell to the wayside. He's going to come home right around the 5th spot as we run right now. Richard Kelball sitting in 6th, about a second and a half behind Lovison, and Robert Mitchell turning a bad day into a better one, sticking it out, toughing it out, grinding out a race finish. He's being shown in the 7th position, last car on the lead lap. This battle for the 2nd position just has not went away just yet. Field still making their way around the track. 14 laps to go as we begin lap number 87 here. Graham Bunyan maintaining that 3-second race lead, just under 3 seconds now, just a tick, a snap of the fingers, if you will, under the 3-second mark, and that seems to be where he's staying the past few laps. It hasn't fluctuated very much. It looks like he's just maintaining the gap as we click these final few laps off, inching closer and closer to just 10 laps to go. Big moment there for Howard Livingston as he ran up on the back marker of Jeff Murray, moved out very quickly out from behind him as he gained a ton of speed there for a second. That's going to allow him to step away from that 07 of David Zaleski just briefly. Now Jason Lowe stuck behind the back marker of Murray. That's going to leave Lowe to the wayside, and we're going to have a 2-car battle now for those final 2 podium positions. Who's going to take second? Who's going to have third? Could it be these 2 drivers? Will it be both of these drivers? Could it be none of these drivers? We'll have to wait and see as the laps continue to click off field, working their way down the back stretch. Your race leader already through 3 and 4, working his way onto the front stretch now to begin lap number 90. Doesn't look like Jason Lowe's going to be able to get back to the gearbox of Zaleski, so Lowe, barring any late race incident here, should be able to bring his naked clown, Delara IR18, back to his crew safe and sound with a top 5. Heck of a drive by Lowe. Tell you what, while we've got a chance to spotlight him here, look at his race. Started in 5th. Well, that's where he qualified. But he started from the pits as he's made 3 pit stops, and most of the rest of the field only 2. That means he missed the start. Started from pit road and has driven his way back up through the field. An amazing drive out there today by the driver in that 004. Another driver worth mentioning, well, because he's the race leader, and it's always worth mentioning the race leader, Graham Bunyan. Now with a little over 3 seconds of a gap back to the 13 of Howard Livingston, who is still battling with David Zaleski. So we will rejoin that battle once again, just a few seconds behind your race leader. There you see the battle coming off of turn 4. David Zaleski trying everything he can to improve his third place position. Try to go up there and bump Livingston off the second spot on the podium and down into the third and final spot. I have a feeling this one's not going to be decided until the final lap. Both drivers on pit road at the same time the last time they hit pit road. Down the back stretch they go, gap just a little under 0.4 of a second. That is more than close enough to utilize some of that slipstream. Back down the back stretch once again, 5 laps remaining. Does Zaleski have what it takes to get to Livingston? Final few laps unfolding before our eyes. Your race leader, Graham Bunyan, out to a 3-second lead. Nothing to worry about in front of him, as doesn't look like he's going to be hitting back markers anytime soon. Jeff Murray was the final car that he had went around. He is well and clear of him. These two drivers battling for position may run into that back marker of Jeff Murray here in the next lap or two. So that could add an interesting twist to the battle for position raging on the track as we continue to click the laps off and work our way closer and closer to the end of today's Triple Crown race number 3 here at Autoclub Speedway. 3 laps left to go. Can Zaleski get the job done? Working off of turn 2, back in the slipstream, going down the back stretch. He is right there now within 0.2 of Livingston's gearbox, right on him through 3 and 4. Gonna go up with one of our drone cams, give you the action from the air. There you see the distance. Can Zaleski close it? 2 laps remaining. Your race leader already working his way through 3 and 4, coming back to the stripe. White flag is in the air, and the 1 to go, presented by StickQuik, is waving. The final lap here at Autoclub Speedway. Can Zaleski get the job done on this final lap? Working his way down the back stretch. Murray right there in front of these drivers. Zaleski digging hard, not going to be able to get the job done. We'll jump up with your race leader, working his way to the line. Walking away with the win here today, the 101 of Graham Bunyan. Howard Livingston able to hold off the hard-charging David Zaleski for second and finishing third in the final podium position here today. David Zaleski, amazing job up there running for those guys. My goodness, that was a good ending to a very, very good race. We're going to get set to head track side for your post-race interviews here on Turn 3 Racing Network. So we'll let Graham Bunyan enjoy a little bit of a celebration burnout, if you will, and we will be right back here on Turn 3 Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Well, thanks for sticking with us back at the track here at Autoclub Speedway for your post-race interviews. So I tell you what, let's see if we can't go ahead and get in a quick word now with the driver finishing in that third and final podium position, the driver of the 07, David Zaleski. Got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir.
Well, my man, pretty good race. Why don't you tell us about how it was out there from your perspective, and give us your thoughts on this new aero screen.
Well, I didn't think I was going to like it at first, but I got used to it as time went on. As far as the race is concerned, it was a pretty good race, racing with Howard there, and Graham had quite the rocket ship going on.
Well, my man, finishing third, nothing to be ashamed of or hang your head about. Very tough to finish in the podium positions here in the US Indy Car League presented by StickQuik. So my hat's off to you with that. Do you think that finishing on the podium here this week will give you any momentum as we head to the double points race, the season finale here at Atlanta next week?
Yeah, it's definitely a morale booster. Just racing with all these guys and learning from them. I can't wait to get on to next week.
All right, David. Well, once again, congratulations on your podium finish here today. Before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors and thank them for helping us put on these great races, and Robert and all the admins, and just like to say hello to my family, and I love you.
All right, there you have it. That was your third place finisher here in today's race. David Zaleski, now we'll see if we can get a quick word in with your second place finisher, driver of the 13 machine, Howard Livingston. How you doing, bud? You got a copy?
I hear you, man. I hear you. How you doing?
Pretty good. I can't complain, and if I did, it probably wouldn't matter. Man, you can't complain about finishing second, man. Great run out there for you today. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Well, going into this race, my strategy basically was don't get in trouble. I mean, this is a really fast track. It's a wide track, and there's concrete wall all the way around it. So my whole strategy was be as fast as you can, but don't push it, to the point where you're going to go up and tap that wall. Unfortunately, we didn't. We had good pit stops. So the KOA Care Camps team did great, and thanks StickQuik for sponsoring a great race today.
Well, my man, once again, Howard, great job finishing second. Love to see when I can get you up here in the booth for some interviews and some talking time. So great finish out there today, walking away in second. Before I let you go, though, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Well, always StickQuik for sponsoring this. Love my wife, Cinderella, and all the kids at KOA Care Camp. They send kids with cancer to summer camp. So shout out to all those folks.
All right, there you have it. Driver of the 13 machine, Howard Livingston, finishing in the second position out there today. And, well, there's only one more man left to talk to. And let's see if we can't get in a few words with, well, your race winner again. Graham Bunyan, how you doing, my man?
Well, that's it. A few words. You've done it. Going really good, man. Doing really good.
Well, I know you've been under the weather a little bit lately. Does winning a race help you feel better?
It makes me sweat, so hopefully it's sweating the flu or the whatever I've got in me out of me. But no, I'm feeling a lot better. I know you've been under the weather as well, and I hope you're feeling better too. Yeah, man. Great setup. I liked it. I liked the race. I like what it brought out. You had to drive the car.
I was going to say, with the new update, the new aero screen, I know the aerodynamics are a little bit different. The view out of the cockpit is extremely different. How did it really feel? Does the car feel comfortable enough to be racy, or is it very aero dependent now?
I think it's developed a little bit more aero push than what it had. It feels like it's got a bit more aero push that's similar to what the DW12 used to have. But I mean, again, it's only early days. I think this is about the third day that this has been introduced into racing, the IndyCar. So, we're all working around it. And I think as it goes on and we start building more and more setups, and I think it'll be good. It's great. View-wise, I have no issues with it. I think it's absolutely great. Better than that goddamn witch's cone we had in the middle of our car.
All right, my man. Well, walking away with yet another race win, setting yourself up pretty heading into next week at Atlanta, but it is a double points race. I think you're still going to have some people fighting and clawing at you. Do you think you got what it takes to repeat as the season champion?
Well, I'm trying to crunch some numbers in my head. I've ran the minimum races you can race. I don't have any races up my sleeve to actually lose points or take away or add points. So I think I'm sitting in a pretty good spot right now. Just doing some number crunching in my head. But a win next week, that'd be awesome. That'd definitely seal it. But look, it's anybody's race, anybody's win.
All right, my man. Well, congratulations once again, walking away with the race win. Before I let you go, though, Graham, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Again, like every week, thank everybody for coming out, joining in the race. The guys who get repped out, unfortunately, they practice all week and try and get going, and they have a couple of laps and then end up finishing. But look, everybody that turns up. Our sponsor, StickQuik, for being there for us this season. And yourself up in the box here every weekend doing your job and making us look pretty on TV.
All right, well, there you have it. That was some final parting words from your race winner, Graham Bunyan, walking away with yet another win on the season. So hats off to him and his crew getting the job done when they need to, when it all matters. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. Only one race left to go here in the King of the Speedway Series for the US Indy Car League, presented by StickQuik here on Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll run down your race results, your finishing order, walking away with his 4th win of the season, the 101 of Graham Bunyan. Gonna take the checkered flag and bring it home once again. There you see him still celebrating down there trackside, getting it into victory lane. Gonna get some more pictures for him and his crew walking away with that race win. Coming home in 2nd here today, the 13 of Howard Livingston. In 3rd, the 07 of David Zaleski. And in 4th, the 004 of Jason Lowe. Coming home in 5th, the 64 of Rick Lovison, and in 6th, the 24 of Richard Kelball. Finishing in the 7th position here today, driver of the 31 machine, Robert Mitchell, going to be followed in 8th by the 306 of Will Stearns. 9th position will go to the 10 machine of Mike West. Jeff Murray, after running very, very well through the middle of the race, up all the way into 2nd at one point in time, gonna walk away in the 10th spot, 2 laps down. Finishing in 11th here from Autoclub, the 53 of Dan Kendall, and in 12th, the 131 of Craig Forsyth. Finishing 13th, the 5 of Joe Pascal, and 14th, the 25 of Ryan Bowles. 15th position, the 99 of Ben Wallace, and walking away in 16th, the 19 of Chad Pierce. Finishing the field out today, the 17th position goes to the 15 of Danny J. Unfortunately, Danny not able to get his machine out on track, so he will be listed as your final driver in today's Triple Crown race number 3 here from Auto Club Speedway. Big shout out to all our sponsors, supporters, and partners out there. Big shout out to US Indy Car League, StickQuik, as well as Track Cams for Grommets. Big shout out to all you guys. Shout out to all the guys and girls back there at the Turn 3 Racing Network, making all the wheels spin, all the things happen. And big shout out to you, the fans, the viewers, the friends and family. Thank you all for the love that you all give each and every one of us broadcasters here at Turn 3 Racing Network. With all that being said, with all the craziness in the world, ladies and gentlemen, just want to say a few parting words to you. Stay safe. Keep the love moving. Love everybody, man. Now ain't the time. Let's get through this stuff and move on. Be bigger and better. There's a bigger picture out there. Stay safe, my friends, and we'll see you again here on Turn 3 Racing Network.